out today. It's exciting. It's a gorgeous day. We have this beautiful summer, and it's supposed to keep going. We're supposed to get a longer extended summer weather, which will be great, Indian summer. So I am grateful for you to be here. I'm so excited to be partnered here with Shelby Township, and the more time goes on, the bigger the meetings get, and more people traveling. It's really, really exciting. So I'm going to tell you a couple things with my presentation. It's kind of scaled down because I have a lot to talk about. So keep in mind that everything I show you is kind of a snippet, right? Or a kind of a Cliff Notes version of our tours. And also, it's going to probably be a good hour, and I will do my best to not talk too much because I love to talk and embellish and explain things, but I don't want to get into, I'll try to be careful not to do too much talking. Welcome, hi. So we'll go ahead and get started. I hope my remote works. Yay, it's working. So for those of you who have not met me, my name is Tracy Shank, and again with Premier World Discovery and doing all the big extended travel here. I live in Livonia. I'm a Michigan girl. I've been, doing travel since 1990, so 34 years of group travel. And it's, once you get that travel bug, it's kind of in you. And there's years I've thought about, maybe I should get into another industry or do something else. And I'm like, nope, I can't leave it. I'm going to work till I can't work anymore, right? So anyway, that's me and my family and some of the travels that I've been on, and been so blessed to have been all over the world. The company itself is based in California and established 25 years ago. And you probably maybe have never heard of us here in Michigan because you can't find our company in travel agencies. Like, we're not one of those big common names. Everything we do is through clubs like this, so it's really exclusive, a lot more hands-on, a little more customer service based. And one thing I can guarantee you is that we will never be cross-marketing you, emailing you, sending you things at your house and trying to sell you. We don't do that. We're all about just the enjoyment of a group tour. In California, I mentioned too, because if you ever have to call the office, make sure you wait a few extra, like till about noon, right? Because they're on the California time, right? They're not here. We have all these important affiliations you see across the bottom, which is kind of like that Good Housekeeping seal of approval, right? You want those important, associations and things, and our liability and all that as well is very strong. Inside and outside teams, so we have outside sales reps all over the country. So I'm one of that pile over there. And then our inside team is always there to assist you and help you and guide you if you need any assistance with your reservations. One thing I do like to remind people too about group travel. First of all, the best part, especially on a big trip, is we do all the planning. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. All the work is done for you. We do all the planning, but you get, nice quality accommodations and your airfare and all these things included. Baggage handling is taken care of, lots of meals. And I think the most important thing is, seeing a new place, learning about something new, and meeting new friends, right? That's the greatest thing. But one reminder is, whether it's a day trip or an extended trip, all the little puzzle pieces of these trips that are put together, all the little things, the air and the meals and the museums, all that is all discounted because you're in a group. So when you think about that, if you booked this trip on your own, you'd be paying a lot more for all those pieces, right? So it's a really good value. It's a really nice way to travel. I will talk more about travel protection at the end of the meeting, but we do offer travel protection. Certainly when you're planning this far in advance, it's something to consider. If you have your own insurance, maybe you're a very seasoned traveler, like some people in the room, and you have your own insurance, that's absolutely fine. You are welcome to use your own insurance as well. It's just a good to have. So, final document briefing. Your documents come to your home like this about 2 weeks prior to your trip. And then we do a document briefing. I will come back here, we sit down together, and we talk about everything. And I mean every detail, air, hotel, everything, what to wear, identification, money, everything. And then we prepare you for the trip so that when you go on the trip, you are ready and all, I'll have all your questions answered. Really, really nice thing about this is transportation is included from here to the airport and back. So that is also included in the trip. And it's usually a metro car, so it depends on the size of the group, whether it's a bus or a minivan or a sedan. Please note there are only 2 transfers to and from. And I point this out because some of our trips have an extension. So say you're going to Italy and you extend on longer, you are on your own to get home from the airport. Or if everyone's extending, then obviously the return is for the majority of the group, okay? I hope that makes sense. But everything we do is by airplane. So we don't get on a bus and take you for 2 days to get somewhere and back. We fly you to the destination. But the benefit of that is that if you have friends or family or anybody that lives out of state that you think would be a great roommate that you might want to travel with, we can fly them from their home state to meet you at the trip. So keep that in mind. If maybe you don't have a travel companion, but your friend or sister or son or daughter lives out of state and you want them to travel with you, we can arrange that as well. Price might be a little different. Extra service when needed. So I'm all about I call it airport duty. When I have airport duty, I've been at the airport to do duty at 4 a.m. I was in Grand Rapids last Saturday. I got up at 3 a.m., got there at 4 a.m., met a group, and hi everybody, and helped them check in. So if it's a big enough group and I feel like maybe you need assistance, I'm at the airport when you leave and usually when you come back too. I will be there and say, welcome back everybody, help you with baggage and things like that, or any other situation that could possibly come up. I have to manage at the airport as well. Every trip has a tour director, meaning from start to finish, from the beginning when you arrive until you are going back home, that person stays with you the entire trip and they're on the tour with you. And then your driver, and there's a driver, your deluxe motor coach, driver and tour guide become a team. And they work together like, a team, right? And they make everything run smooth and it's their job to make sure that they manage everything for you. Every tour has meals, daily breakfast on every tour, always. Welcome dinner, farewell dinner, and there's usually 1 or 2 other meals sprinkled in, depending on the length of the trip as well. Booking discount, we welcome credit cards, not a problem. If you use a credit card for your deposit, there's no credit card fees. Or you might want to pay the whole thing by credit card because you want your points or you get insurance or what have you, it's fine. However, if you can make that final payment by check on time, we will deduct $100 off the price of your trip. It's $200 for river cruises, but $100 per person off the final payment if you can make it by check, okay? If you're gonna mail anything to California, my only advice is go to the post office and do priority mail or something like that, or make sure you get it tracked. And then we're gonna get started talking about trips. So let the fun begin. This is my favorite picture here. I don't know what they're doing, but it looks like fun, right? So, travel has been booming like crazy, and I am so grateful after what we've been through in these past years. And I even go back to 9/11 and SARS and all the things that have happened. I've hung in there in travel, and it always comes back around. And I think people just want to go places and do things. So let's get started with our first one. So this trip is coming up really quickly, and this is our highlights of Italy's Amalfi Coast. And I'm putting this out there because we do have some space on this trip, and I know people are still interested in this. November 5th through the 12th of 2024. We do have a group already going from here on a previous date, and we had more interest, so we have more people on this one as well. So I'm going to talk about this trip. You fly round trip from Detroit to Rome, and you are going to stay 5 nights in Sorrento, so 5 nights in one place, which is really nice. And then your last night is in Rome, and there's also an optional extension. So 6 nights accommodations is the main tour, 5 nights in Sorrento, and then a night in Rome on the last night. And then if you extend, you stay for a couple more extra nights, which I'll talk about. 10 meals included, 6 breakfasts, 4 dinners. And then of course you have your tour director and you arrive in Rome, and then we transport you to Sorrento. So look at this. This is where you see this in pictures and movies and the Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Remember that show? It is absolutely exquisite and beautiful, rugged, yet historic and scenic. Our hotels right on the ocean, absolutely beautiful. The infinity pool. I'm going on this tour actually in October with my 86-year-old mother, my brother and 2 sisters on one of our tours. And she's got her walking stick. She's ready to go, and she can do it. She's going to outwalk me, I'm pretty certain. We do our welcome dinner, and then your next day, we actually take in Sorrento. Our first thing, and again, these are snippets, so forgive me, there's just a few pictures. But a Sorrento walking tour, this trip is rated on the activity level of 4, meaning it's the highest on the activity level because of the walking. In Italy, buses are not allowed in the piazza and in the downtown areas, and all the sidewalks are brick and stone, so we're walking on these tours. We do it at a nice pace because it's geared for seniors, but keep in mind this is a trip where you'll want to get your steps in before you go. The piazza is like the center of town, right? So the tours will begin there, and then we walk through and learn the history of the area, see all the wonderful sights and sounds of each of the towns we visit. We're going to do a limoncello demonstration and tasting on this tour in Sorrento. And then we also visit the neighboring town of Ravello. And Ravello, much like Amalfi and much like Sorrento, is on the coast. And look at the scenery. I don't even need to talk about how beautiful this is, but this is absolutely mesmerizing, right? And then we'll give you some free time. So usually around lunch is your downtime, where it's like, okay, everybody, meet me back here, in 2 hours. We're gonna shop and have lunch, and you can enjoy all the lovely local artists and shops and things that are in Italy in the town of Ravello, and grab lunch. You can see a little souvenir shop there on the left, and a lot of it is really unique. The next day, we're going to actually hit the town of Amalfi. Again, very rugged. Notice the seawall here is quite beautiful. And think about back hundreds of years ago when, Italy was protecting itself with fortification walls and things from pirates coming in and all the history. And the rugged, mountainside protected this town. So you see a lot of historic, beautiful buildings on the Amalfi Cathedral. I don't know if I'm going to be walking those steps to go check that out, but maybe if I feel like Rocky that day, I might do that, right? But absolutely beautiful and exquisite. And then, of course, their piazza, which is the center of town, Duomo. You notice the rock, the stone streets and that. But we'll be walking through here, nice, easy pace, and taking our tour. We're also going to visit the, seaside, summer kind of escape town of Positano. It is people come from all over Italy to come here for the weekends, right? It's kind of like that weekend getaway, maybe like a Traverse City or wherever we go to have beach time and boat time. One nice thing about going in November is you do avoid all the crowds. So you got to remember, tourist season is summer in Italy. And as lovely as it is to go in the summer, it's packed and hot, right? And crowded and everything you could think of. Prices are higher, everything. And at the end of the season in November, now you got to remember, it's not like Michigan where they get hot and cold like us. They don't have the extreme temperatures like us. So you're in the 60s, maybe 70, low 70s in this time of year, and you get rid of all the crowds. The college kids are back to school. Everyone's kind of, so it's a really lovely time to go. So when you visit, these resort towns like Positano, you don't have those mobbed crowds, and free time for lunch and shopping. And again, local people making their crafts and local clothing and leather goods and things as well. And then you have free time to grab lunch, and I encourage everybody to, when you're in Italy, do as the Italians. I'm Italian, so you'll probably figure that out by my hands, but lots of wonderful food. We're also going to visit a cheese factory. So, you have to remember mozzarella and all the wonderful Italian cheeses. So if you like cheese, another exciting little adventure. Oop, wait a minute, I get jumped. Yep. And then on day 5, so in the middle of this trip, there are 2 options. And normally we do 1 day off, in the middle of the trip. And on this particular tour, we have 2 days off in the middle. I'm not sure which one I'm doing, probably both. But this particular day on day 5, you can have a full day at leisure in Sorrento. Because we do notice that when you go like that, and the jet lag kind of hits you, we like to have some downtime. So you can take the optional tour to the Isle of Capri. Price range is probably around the 150 price range per person. You purchase the option when you get there. It's not like a cruise, we have to do it in advance. You just wait till you get to Italy, see how you feel, and you can decide if you want to do Capri. This particular visit is taking a ferry over to the Isle of Capri to see, Anna Capri, the town. And again, notice the tallest building in all of these towns is always going to be the beautiful church steeple, right? We'll visit the Via San Michele, which is, the former home of a wealthy, Italian as well. We'll go up there and get some spectacular views, see the gardens, things like that as well in Via San Michele. Day 6, so you can choose. Day 6 is an optional tour to Naples, probably in that same price range. On day 6, Naples is the 3rd oldest city in Italy, and it is the home of pizza. It's where pizza was invented. So Naples has a spectacular history to it as well, being that it's an old town. There's all kinds of ancient architecture as well as some modern new, but it's surrounded by the mountains, so it's a lovely place. But some of the things you'll see while you're there with the Royal Palace, the Francesco de Paula Church, their cathedral, and of course the town hall square and all the fountains and things like that around the area as well. And then of course, you can't go to Naples without having that pizza lunch. So this is all, it'll be included in the optional tour. So again, if you don't take the option, you take one or the other, you get a full day in Sorrento to enjoy, because Sorrento itself is so beautiful and spectacular. Highlight for me, this is day 7, to visit Pompeii. So you know Pompeii, we hear about it in the news still because it is a current archaeological dig. They are still finding artifacts, still finding things. They have uncovered all this, and of course, as you know, Pompeii, when Mount Vesuvius erupted, there was the perfect storm, perfect combination of weather and how fast it happened, and everything was how all this stayed intact. Right? Yeah, normally this would have been obliterated by a volcano like that, but it didn't. It was just absolutely kind of set in time. So, and of course, and the people as well, you see them all covered in ash, and this is protected, and it is on my bucket list since I think 3rd grade, Catholic school. I read a story about it, and I said, one day I'm gonna get there, and here I am, 56 years old, finally getting to Pompeii. So then after Pompeii, we head back to Rome. So this is like the last day. So we go back to Rome, and then we spend the night, one night in the hotel, and then we do a farewell dinner, and if you do not take the extension to Rome, you fly home. So like, for example, a lot of our people that do this trip, like, oh, I've been to Rome multiple times, I don't want to do Rome again, so they just want to see the Amalfi Coast. But this particular tour does add an optional Rome extension, which I'm going to talk about. Your extension $7.99, and if you're a single, you add $400 to that, and then you have to let us know when you pay if you want to do the extension. So this particular tour is going to take in, the Colosseum. Now, I will talk about Rome. Buses cannot drive around to see all these things. It's a walking tour. Again, everything's very close in proximity. We do it at a good pace, but I just want to be very clear that to see all these things, some of the things we can drive to, but for the most part, the Colosseum we do outside the Colosseum. We're not going in for the tour, but our tour guide, I talked to her the other day, and she said they're welcome to go like on the next day. You have a free day and you can go back and get inside, but you got to get tickets. Arch of Constantine, Circus Maximus, the Piazza Vesuvius, all here, all part of the tour, and more, right? There's so much to see. We are also going to be taking you to Rome, or Vatican City. So the Vatican City is a city in its own, surrounded by Rome, right? It's like its own city. We park underground, we take you up, and you are going to do the Vatican museums. You are going into the museums. This particular tour takes you in, right in there, and look at this. The museums are filled with tapestries, paintings, sculptures, marble, as you can imagine, absolutely fantastic to see. And of course, the Sistine Chapel is part of this. So, if you've heard of these, or you're very religious or Catholic, or this is something important to you, this is the place to go. We're also going to see St. Peter's Basilica, go inside, and see the beautiful Michelangelo's Pietra and the Bernini's bronze canopy that's also in. Look at this. These are just pictures, so it's a lot more in real life too. So also you'll have some free time that day to visit the Spanish Steps and Trevi Fountain and the Forum and Pantheon if you want to go, and the guide will kind of take a group with and go for walking, but it's very, very easy to see everything. We have our leisure day. The last day is a day on your own. So again, the guide can say, oh, those of you who want to do the Colosseum, you can get tickets. This is the day you want to go. You can shop. You can do more touring. You can definitely get some gelato throughout the entire trip. You can sit in a coffee shop. I'm visiting relatives in north of Rome, hopping on the train and going to see some of our relatives that are excited. We have never been. So, just really a wonderful day to do as you want to do that last day. And then you would fly home on day 10. So if you take the Rome extension, you fly home. So November 5th through the 12th is the date. The price without Rome is $39.25. And then, of course, the booking discount puts you at $38.25. That's including the first part of the tour I told you about. And then if you add the Rome extension, the $7.99, here's your price. So, in single. So again, you certainly, if you want to do this trip, we certainly want you to not miss out. Passports are required. They must be valid for 6 months beyond the trip dates. So always remember that when you're traveling. The money will be the euro, and then deposit, well, I would say full payment is due now. I think there's about 25 people on this trip right now, so it's a small group. Your full payment or final payment is August 22nd. So again, if you wanted to go, if you could make a full payment by check, you get $100 off the price of the trip as well. So if you want the insurance, it's $399. So you have to purchase that all together, all in one price. And it's coming up, but we certainly know it's one of those trips that is a wonderful, wonderful experience. All right, Music City's Christmas. Our last trip this year is December 3rd through the 8th, and I'm gonna kind of zip through these. This is fun. This is Branson, Memphis, Nashville. So for those of you who've maybe done this years ago by bus, this is something a little different. We fly into Springfield, we travel down up, and then we fly home from Nashville. So you can take all this in without having to ride a bus all the way. 2 nights, Branson, 1 night Memphis, 2 nights Nashville. 9 meals, tour guide, lovely accommodations while you're in Branson. And then the first show we're going to see in the morning the next day is Doug Gabriel. He's voted #1 vocalist and drummer, like you know, in the town of Branson. Very famous, very well known. His family, this is his wife and kids, they all perform together, and it's a morning show. So at lunchtime, we'll give you time at Branson Landing, and those of you that have been to Branson know that this place is just over the top. Decorations, everything is very festive. It's beautiful at Christmas time. We certainly want you to take all that in. We also include the showboat Branson Belle, very famous for dinner, an early dinner and show on board the ship. It's a nice sailing experience there. And then in the evening, we do the Dutton family show. So the Duttons are actually really in high demand. They're known more for like bluegrass and classical, and they play multiple instruments. They dance, they sing. They're a family. Mom and dad are not musicians and not musicals. So they don't know how in the world their kids got so talented, but they certainly do 300 shows in Branson, and they're only there part of the year. They're just there for a short time, so really lucky to see them. On our way towards, through on the tour, we'll stop in Little Rock, Arkansas for a tour, and you'll see obviously the Capitol building and learn all about Arkansas. And the very important Little Rock Central High School was the, first school with desegregation in our country. So there's a big history here as well. In 1957 after the Supreme ruling, right? This was the first school that took that brave step, right? We'll also visit the River Markets District for some free time, grab something to eat, do a little shopping. And then that evening we arrive in fabulous Memphis. We all know Memphis, home of bluegrass and gospel music and country music and Elvis, right? And B.B. King, so a lot of big ones from there. So we spend a night here, and you'll have a chance and opportunity to see as we come in the evening, Beale Street is the famous Beale Street, right, in Memphis. And then we're going to see Graceland at Christmas time. So I had a hard time finding pictures of Graceland all decorated. It's like, oh, come on. But I did find some. Look at the inside. So beautifully, again, one of those places that just is going to go over the top decorating. And then, of course, Elvis is buried there, his mom, and there's obviously a lot of history in this family. And right now is the anniversary coming up. I thought it was August 10th, something like that. Right now is about the time when he passed away in 1977. So Gaylord Opryland Resort is where we spent our last couple nights in Nashville. I don't even know if any of you have ever heard of or seen this resort. It is incredible. The Gaylord properties are known for being exquisite and just elaborate and beautiful. At the holidays, they go over the top. This is the inside of the hotel. If you've never been, it is spectacular. So this is the lovely way to spend our last couple nights. There's even a boat ride that goes in through the inside. I mean, it is awesome. So we'll take you on a full city tour of Nashville, taking in all the sights and sounds, the Parthenon, the replica of the Parthenon, the Ryman Auditorium, the state capitol, and of course, Country Music Hall of Fame, which we got tickets to go inside there as well. Nashville Music Row, this is the music district, it's Broadway Street, where you'll have free time to hit a honky-tonk, listen to some live music, do some shopping. It's really great. And then we finish our farewell with the Grand Ole Opry. So this is the oldest running show. It's been running for 98 years, believe it or not. It is just awesome to see. If you remember, like Ralph Emery, I think, hosted it for a while with this little puppet and that. But the Grand Ole Opry is the stage where new upcoming entertainers perform, as well as lots of famous people just show up to perform. I had a group there one time, and Carrie Underwood just happened to walk in and wanted to sing that night. They got free, I mean, it's amazing because they're all like a family. Country singers are a little bit different. They get together and perform. So you'll have a chance to enjoy the holiday show at the Grand Ole Opry. Then you fly home on day 6, December 3rd to the 8th. Here's your pricing, $34.49. Discount applies, single supplement. Deposits, $400. Final payment, I highlighted, it's coming up also, September 19th. Insurance is $325. If you want the insurance, you have to pay for it together. It then becomes $725, excuse me. So we'll kick off the holidays with musical tour. It's really quite lovely. And that ends up our 24. So 2025, it's funny, Christy here, this trip is exciting her. She's very excited. So Puerto Vallarta, this is something a little different. This trip is February 16th through the 22nd. And this is one of those tours that's an all-inclusive, meaning you pay one price and you don't even have to bring a dime. I would bring singles for tipping, but other than that, it is one of those. So this is what Michigan, I'm sending you a reminder what Michigan looks like in February, right? Yeah, you're like, I don't need a reminder. I know, right? We know this is coming. So this is a trip. We'll fly to Puerto Vallarta, from here to Puerto Vallarta, and this is where it sits on the coast. It's on the Pacific Ocean side, right? And versus the Gulf, and it is mountainous, rugged, beautiful. Also has a lovely history as well. You've got the scenic views and ornate architecture of the old town and the clay roofs. And then there's even a promenade that you can walk for shops and along the ocean there. Very, very clean, very lovely. Your palm trees, your warm weather. And then there we go. 6 nights at the Paradise Village. Everyone has a suite. So I'll show you what that looks like. It's on a point. See, our hotel is kind of in its own little cove here. So you're surrounded by water on both sides, and look at it's got a very Mayan feel to it. The rooms are like your own apartment. And look at this. It's really, really a fun way to go. So if there's a group of you that want to travel together, you can play cards at night, you can have some fun. It's like having your own apartment for the winter. The best part, breakfast, lunch, dinner, all included, all you want, all free, and drinks. Pina coladas and margaritas and anything you want, coffee, tea, lemonade, all free. And they have their different restaurant options that are really lovely, indoor, outdoor, fancy, casual, anything you could want, buffet style, sit down style, and you just have to decide what you want to do, when you want to eat, where you want to eat, it's all yours. Another great thing, 3 pools. So the pools are magnificent. Look at this area. This is my kind of, as much as I love touring, because I'm all about history, this is where I want to decompress. This is where I want to go when it's cold out and I just want to get somewhere and relax and look at these pools. I mean, they even have nighttime swim, adults only nighttime swim, which is nice. For those of you who like the beach is right there. I mean, you can grab a book and sit, the ocean's right there, and there's a tiki bar. So again, you just walk up, I'd like a pina colada, please, and another one, and another one. How about a strawberry daiquiri this time? But all right there by the ocean is a tiki bar. There's a spa included. And there's bocce ball and shuffleboard and kayaking and entertainment, all kinds of things. If you want to keep busy, it's all part of it. You can learn how to play tennis. You could do some golfing, all included in the tour. There's shopping in the local mall if you need something or you want to just pick up a few things, or the Mexican village shopping, which is like more your Mexican blankets and jewelry and clothing and things like that. The town itself, again, dates back. There's a lot of history. The native people and the culture here is quite lovely, and they're very proud of their heritage. The Our Lady of Guadalupe Church is just almost 100 years old. So again, sits as the high point. And the arches are the most visited photographed spot in all of Puerto Vallarta. They have concerts there and things. So you may want to enjoy a quiet beach getaway. You may be celebrating something. You may love just watching the sunsets and going somewhere to relax. They have a great nightlife if you like to get out and walk the beach at night and enjoy dining, or simply just come to relax, like I said. So just a little bit for everyone, something a little bit different. And if you have friends or family that this would be their type of vacation, sons, daughters, whatever, let them know, because it's really a really good value. You fly home and enjoy. So Like I said, everything that's I mentioned is included, all your taxes, your fees, hotel surcharges, everything, baggage handling, airport transfers as well. Passports are required to go to Mexico, and there's your temperatures in February. Definitely not Michigan weather in February. Beautiful, beautiful weather. Again, February 16th through the 20th. I didn't set the, I don't know why that does that. I did not do that. I think it's kind of fun, but I didn't do that. So $31.99 is your double, and there's a single of $650, and then triples are not available on this tour. So again, first come, first serve, $600 deposit. Final balance is due November 18th. That's 90 days in advance. So travel protection is $399. So that's that trip, and I think it would be a wonderful way to escape cold Michigan, right, that time of year. So spread the word on that one. It's something a little bit different and unique, certainly. Next trip is in April, 25th through the 29th, is our San Antonio Fiesta. I've been to Texas multiple times, and I will say this about Texas. If you're looking to go somewhere completely different than Michigan, this is a state that you'd love to visit. Not only is it, it's Tex-Mex, that's how I describe it, because it's definitely a blend of Texas and Mexico, kind of that Spanish feel, but the food is different, the people talk different, they sound different, right? The architecture is different, and the scenery is so different than Michigan. It takes you somewhere that maybe you haven't been that's really unique. So this is a nice getaway. It's 6 meals included. Our hotels, the top 3 pictures there are the 3 hotels we use right on the Riverwalk, meaning your hotel is on the Riverwalk, and then you can get out and walk. And if you're not familiar what a Riverwalk is, I will show you. So the San Antonio City tour is included. So a lot, you know, the Mexican War, there's a lot of history here. You're going to hit the San Jose Mission, the beautiful, rugged. This mission, there's only 20, I want to say 23, 25 of these in the country left, but they're built so beautiful from this strong, rugged stone, and you'll hear the history about the mission and how it served the community. Visit the Tower of Americas and go up into the viewing platform there as well to get a good view of San Antonio, and of course a visit to the Alamo. And if you've never been to the Alamo, as big and beautiful and grand as this building is, it's really little. You get there and you're like, wow, that's it, this is the Alamo, but we go inside and see the film and learn about everything that took place at the Alamo as well. Here is the Riverwalk. So it winds through town. It just winds along San Antonio, and if you've never been, it is just vibrant and wonderful. Shops and restaurants along the way. We're going to take you on a cruise on the Riverwalk, because then you get a tour of the town also from the Riverwalk. It's really, really lovely. Next day, we're going to do an Austin city tour. So we'll leave San Antonio, head into Austin, the capital city. It's a college town, beautiful, very vibrant. We'll see all the main things, learn the history, of course, of the Capitol building. The entertainment district, Austin is very strong in their entertainment community, in Texas as well. We'll do the LBJ Library and Museum at the University of Texas. And you have an opportunity to see the Oval Office and how it looked when he was president. And then, of course, take in all the artifacts. And it's not just about his presidency. It's a little bit about just the presidency in general, this museum. And then the Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Center. Really lovely. Lady Bird, that's her up in the corner. I found that picture because I was like, I got to show, because it's just such a cute, colorful place to be, especially in April. Things will be in bloom, and you're kind of free to walk around on your own and enjoy. The next day, we're going to head through the Texas hill countryside, which Texas is very filled with ranches and flat land and lots of farmlands. And then you see this and you're like, wow, you just aren't expecting Texas to be so rugged and mountainous and beautiful. Well, also, this is the spring bluebonnet time, so hopefully those will all be in bloom in April. And part of our tour, you'll kind of stop and go. We'll visit the historical park and LBJ Ranch and birthplace, and of course the Texas White House, right, where he lived, and out in this lovely area. We're also going to stop in Fredericksburg, which is a German settlement. There's a sister city in Germany, and this town itself filled with, you know, pastry shops and German stores and gift shops, and also Texas gift shops as well. And then there's the National Museum of the Pacific Wars located, and we have tickets to go inside that as well and see that museum. And then we come back that afternoon for the Texas Cavaliers River Parade. So a certain time of year they put on these events that start and end at the river, and it's really, really cool. This is the Arneson River Theater here. You can sit and watch this river parade. It's spectacular. It's just a celebration of their community, right? And the Texans are very proud and very loud and very colorful. So and they say something about their hair, the bigger it is, the higher it is to God, that kind of thing. They're all, everything's big. So just a lovely way to end the trip. And then we have our farewell dinner before we head home. This is April 25th through the 29th. Very affordable to do this trip, $28.25, including everything, single supplement, and then of course your booking discount applies. Lovely temperatures that time of year to travel. It's still a little chilly in Michigan, but a little bit warmer there. $400 deposit, final payment 90 days prior. Insurance is $275. So if you want the insurance, make sure you purchase it with your deposit, which is then $675. So great place to go, y'all. Texas has got a lot to offer. If you've never been, I can assure you, I've been to San Antonio, I think 3 times, and it's just a really unique experience for sure. All right, Alaska. I know a lot of you are anxious to hear about Alaska. So we work with Norwegian Cruise Lines, and I just had my group come back. And I was at the airport and they were like, you know, just telling me how amazing. And I've been to Alaska, I've done this tour with a senior group. And so I have lots to share with you. This trip is August 14th through the 25th. I will tell you, we are limited, right? We have a block of space. Once the space is sold out, that's it. So if you know you are 100% sure you want to do this trip, do not wait. Because I'm not the only sales rep selling into that block of space. And the cruise line does not give us any more space. They actually, at a certain date, they're like, you're done selling, thank you. I mean, that's it. So just know. But I will tell you this, booking it through us, there's some special perks, which I learned through being with Premier. I'm like, wow, they really go over and above. So on cruises like this, there's so many little things you have to do. You have to register. You have to book your optional tours. You have to, all in advance. There's so much to do. And if you do this on your own, it's very, very confusing and very overwhelming. So our job is to make that easy for you, even to, you know, at the very end, when you have to register, like when you have to get checked in, we do all that for you. So you don't have to worry about any of that stuff, because this could be a bit overwhelming. I'm not gonna lie, it's a really big process, but we will help you through it. 12 days, so it's cruise and land. August 14th through the 25th. So you fly into Fairbanks, home from Vancouver or Seattle, depending on what the cruise line decides that schedule. Here's the map, so you can kind of see, boop, 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 right along the coast there. And if you've never been, I'm telling you, I'm ready to go back. I went right before, I think it was 2018, and it was like, I mean, I want to bring my whole family. It's just one of those places that everybody should see. 11 nights accommodations, 24 meals, lots, and of course, as you know, when you're on a ship, on a cruise like that, all your meals are included. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Matter of fact, you definitely want to hit the workout facilities when you're on the cruise, because you eat and eat and drink and eat. You'll have a tour director that'll greet you, and those people will be from NCL. Their team will be there to greet you. And then you spend a couple nights in Fairbanks. While we're in Fairbanks, we do a full city tour. We take you out on the riverboat, a stern wheeler, which is a really neat way. Again, when you're touring from land and water, it's different. It's a different perspective and different thing. And then you'll get the bush plane demonstration while you're on the boat. So it's really, really neat. And also a dog mushing demonstration too as well. And then there's a Native village, like a replica of a Native village, and they talk about the Native American culture and community there as well, and all the beautiful things you want to learn in the Alaskan culture. It's just beautiful, and they work really hard to keep those traditions alive. They'll learn a little bit about the pipeline that cuts through. I mean, look at that. Isn't that incredible? You know, technology is amazing. And you're also going to do the National Park and Preserve in Denali. So we're going to spend one night in Denali and see this beautiful wilderness tour, snacks included. So I mean, the scenery, if you get lucky, usually by August, you should be able to see Mount McKinley. I was there, I think it was June, and Mount McKinley happened to be available to see. It was amazing. But I mean, wildlife in abundance in this natural wilderness tour, right? From horned animals and bears, and of course your lovely moose, the biggest, strongest, animal there, as well as all kinds of other things that are part of the wilderness tour, fox and all kinds of all the animals you would imagine. But the beautiful mountains, snow-capped mountains, are just majestic and gorgeous while the land is green, right? Everything's all green, and then you look up and you've got these snow-capped mountains. And then my favorite animal, I love bald eagles, are just spectacular. And then you're going to take the train. This was awesome. This was like a half-a-day train, most of the day train ride. You leave in the morning, you take the Alaska Railroad from Denali to Talkeetna, and you're over trestles and bridges and tunnels and curves, and it's glass domed. So if a bald eagle flies overhead, you can watch that. And there's animals on both sides, you can see it, right? I mean, sometimes they'll be like, there's a bear coming up on the right, and everybody go, you're surprised the train's not doing this because everyone's going back and forth to see the wildlife. But it is spectacular, beautiful scenic ride along the train. And I remember like a couple times I went, and there's there's a dining car and there's full service, and you can actually go outside. There's like areas you could stand outside and get pictures from outside. It's incredible. And we get to the train station, we hop on the motor coach to take us to Anchorage. So this is where we're going to spend a night. We always have that cushion, so you're going to spend the night in Anchorage to get on the ship the next day, so you have that cushion, and then we're going to do a full city tour of Anchorage as well. So you want to see it. There's lots to offer. The city itself is lovely, and then we visit the conservation center, where they obviously animals come to be for conservation and animals that are injured in the wild and things like that. So you got the buffalo. I mean, there's a little bit of everything here. Your bears, and you can see them firsthand. So if you don't see them many in the wild, you would certainly see them here as well. So all kinds of horned animals and the beautiful, I love this picture, big old scary moose there. And then Whittier on day 4 is where we actually load up. In this beautiful little fishing village, we load up our ship on the Norwegian Jade for 7 nights. So luxurious. I mean, if you've never been on a cruise like this, this is, you have an option. We have balcony rooms, which are, I'm going to show you like a little layout of how they look. Your rooms are not huge. You're on a cruise, right? They're rows and rows of cabins, but you're in there for your comfort and sleeping and getting ready in the morning. Private bathrooms in all of them, lots of storage space. This is your ocean view room. So, and if there's 2 of you, it's 2 beds versus 1. And then we also have, this is the layout of that room. See how the 2 beds, they split them up. And then there's the inside stateroom, meaning no window. So it depends on what you want to spend or how much time you're going to spend in your room. I've had every kind of inside cabin, outside cabin. I've done a little bit of both just to, because it didn't really matter. But there's your door, and you have a private bathroom, and then your cabin itself. So lots happening here. The ship refurbished in 2022, so it went through refurbishment, and it holds 2,400 guests, about with double occupancy. I'm going to show you some of the dining rooms. So when you're on a cruise, you can either do the main dining, meaning you go and have open dining in the main dining room. They have a couple different dining rooms that you can choose from, and they also have your buffet. So breakfast, lunch, dinner, you can eat at the buffet, or you can go to the main dining room. You can dress up, you can be casual, whatever you want. It's absolutely your call. Lots of places to grab drinks and enjoy social activities, outdoor casual dining here, all kinds of things. There are fancy restaurants that you can actually make reservations for, and you do have to pay for those if you want. Honestly, I've been on many cruises. I've never made a reservation to eat in an extra restaurant because I feel like I've paid for my food, but some people like to get dressed up and make reservations and go to some of the sushi or Italian or some of the different things. So here are some of those, Italian and Japanese and bistro, like a French bistro and a steakhouse. Those are extras, but certainly available. And then there's lots of bars and cafes and things you can enjoy. There's room service available, different places to have drinks, see entertainment. Every night there's a theater. You can watch shows. There's usually dancing and just whatever you like to do. Or of course, those of you who want to stay up late night and enjoy some of that action, there's a casino on board and slot machines as well. So lots of fun. Library for quiet time, card room if you want to play cards and games. There's a pool deck. So, that time of year, Alaska's never really hot, sunny, balmy weather, but I did it. I went in the pool in the hot tub for sure. There's outside like places you can eat that are out on the pool deck for burgers and things. You could play volleyball, tennis. I don't know about pickleball. They might have some pickleball on board, but just a lovely way. Look at the water around that. So you can be enjoying that. There's a chapel on board if you want to get in, say some prayers. Hoping you lose some weight, pray, lose some weight after eating all the food. Stardust Theater is wonderful to see, like, Broadway type entertainment, like singing and dancing and all kinds of wonderful, wonderful entertainment. All free, of course. The art gallery, photo gallery, internet cafe. There it is. There's your fitness center. It's a lot of treadmills. There's a spa on board. Again, you may have to pay a little extra, but if you wanted to treat yourself to the spa, and of course the shops are great, duty-free things as well. Day 6, we are going to hit the spectacular Hubbard Glacier. And they're talking about how these glaciers are melting, right, due to global warming, and how much it's changed. So if you haven't been to Alaska in a while and you want to go back, certainly you'll see lots of changes. Icy Strait Point, a lovely stop that we'll be making. And there are shore excursions. So let me talk about shore excursions. These are extra things you can purchase when you get to a spot. Like say the ship docks at Icy Point, there are shore excursions you can purchase. So for example, I'll show you, these are some of the things that are available at Icy Strait Point. All kinds. It's a little bit for everyone, right? Some people might want to go fishing. Some people might want to do whale watching. Some people might want to do zip line. Some people might want to go on different excursions, whether how action-packed you are or how relaxed you want to be, or do nothing. You don't have to purchase any excursion. You can get off the ship, go into town, shop around, get on back on the ship, have some lunch. You don't have to do these, but you can. They're available. Price ranges are all different. So I would send you like a link to everything, and you go on and you look at the options. Really, when I was with my group of, I think we had 25 of us, everybody went in a different direction because you create your own vacation, kind of what you want to see and do. So Juneau is another stop we're going to be making, the beautiful Juneau. You get off the ship and town is like right there. The Red Dog Saloon is to your left. There's a funicular that goes up. The town itself has a lovely history dating back like the gold rush time, right? So there's a lot of history here. I have my bag and went in the Red Dog Saloon to grab a bite and peanuts on the floor. It's just very Western, but the town itself is lovely. So again, you can get off the ship and walk into town and do what you want, or you can do excursions. So the Mendenhall Glacier is in the Juneau area, so we'll be seeing that. But here are some of the shore excursions that are available in Juneau. So again, you prepay these. This is not something you get on the ship. Like our other tours, we let you wait. These you have to do in advance. They sell out so fast. I think on this one I did this zip line. Couldn't get any seniors to go with me. I don't know why. I was like, come on, go ziplining, but nobody would take me up on that. But I think I also did, one of the options did the dog sled discovery camp, where I got to learn about dog sledding and hold some puppies. That was really nice. I've done the botanical gardens. I had a lot of people do the helicopter adventures. So there's so much to do. Salmon bakes and fishing, but again, you don't have to do anything. That's the nice thing. We are going to visit the Endicott, Armfjord, and Dawes Glacier, so more of the glaciers that the ship gets as close as it can because we're cruising, and then we just stop there. Now, I will tell you, I actually had gloves and a hat and scarf. I brought all that. I was like, and on this day it got chilly, and we went out there, and you can get up on deck everywhere. People are all around the ship looking at the glaciers. We also stop in Skagway, so another town filled with history dating back to the gold rush time, right? And how everybody descended upon the town and how that affected the locals and all the things that took place during that time. It was quite fascinating, a lot of history. But Skagway is lovely. It's a very quaint town. Lots of shops, very clean. Remember, tourism is a big deal in Alaska, so they keep things clean. They have lots of wonderful things for you to explore and enjoy on your own, or there are also shore excursions. So as you can see, very similar, but each town has its own specialty things, right? Like some of them are famous for the totem poles, and you can tour the totem poles. You can do, whitewater rafting, there's just so many things you can do. Train rides, some of them are just simple, but they're all available depending on what you want to do. I did where I drove a Jeep through like a rugged thing and then got on a canoe and canoed to the island. I didn't know this was all going to be this physical. I get in a canoe. I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I was going to be doing all this. And then we got to this little island and it had a salmon bake. It was really, really awesome. So lots of unique things. Ketchikan on day 10, another very famous, we all heard Ketchikan, right? So, and I would encourage you all to look at the history in these towns and learn about the history. I love the big wooden eagle when you get on board or when you get off the ship, you see these wonderful carved bald eagle, and then you're in the town. Nestled, this one's a little different because it's not like a big flat town. It's more nestled on the side of the hill there. Very, very green and lush in this area. And then you have your shore excursions, or you don't have to do anything. You can go into town, get off the ship, and just be back on by whatever time, 5 o'clock or whatever time in the evening. But again, this is where they have the lumberjack show in the native village as well. Always bear things you can see and bald eagles and wildlife, and the rainforest adventure is nice because this area again is very lush, a little more of the rainforest. And if you want to go fishing, you can go fishing, enjoy totem poles, just really, really cool. And then you sail the Inside Passage. So this trip is purposeful, meaning we do the land first, the cruise last, and the Inside Passage kind of toward the end, where you can actually just be out on the deck and it surrounds you, like it swallows you up. The earth around you is just so magnificent. You might get lucky and see some whales. I remember I'd get up really early in the morning and have a cup of coffee and sit out on deck and wait. Like, are they gonna see any whales or bald eagles or, just by myself. It was really, really, really lovely. The Inside Passage is just, again, a nice, narrow, lovely, filled with all kinds of scenery all around you, all around the ship. You can walk around the plank, all around the promenade deck of the ship and enjoy all the scenery. Then you fly home on day 12. So again, filled with adventure. It can be as busy or as relaxed as you want. You don't have to go, go, go. I mean, you can do things that are simple and enjoy this wonderful experience. So here's the pricing. On the flyer, you got IA as your inside cabin, outside cabin, balcony. So IOA, inside, outside, balcony, and those are your prices. And this is the single. And again, includes your airport transportation, your airfare, and all the things that are included. Passports are required because you're going to be going to Canada. So again, if you're thinking of going to Alaska and you don't have a passport or it's expired, certainly get that renewed and get that ready. So here's your temperatures. So as you can see, you don't get that, that hot, cold thing. It's just all kind of pretty even keel. So it gets a little bit chilly in the mornings and evenings as well. So first come, first serve, $500 for your space. Final payments due 150 days prior. That's per the cruise line. So we need to make sure that you are aware of those dates. And then travel protection is offered through NCL. They won't let us use our insurance. So it's on the back of the flyer, has the website. You go on, it's linked to our trip, obviously. And the price varies on, I know this sounds silly, but your age, what itinerary you're doing, the cost of your trip. Every cabin's a different price, so it's based on what your trip is and what you're paying. So the insurance is through them. Travel insurance services, there's a toll-free number. I pasted this from the back of the flyer, so it's right on the back of the flyer. And then the cancellation fees are also on the flyer. So I always like to let people know we don't have any control over cancellation and insurance and that on this trip. So make sure that you read that closely and make sure that you're covered. So majestic, amazing, wildlife, scenery, everything you could possibly dream of is offered here on this particular tour. If you've never done it, don't wait. Get yourself signed up so that you don't miss out. Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta is coming up in October of 2025. So a little bit over a year from now is this wonderful, unique experience. Again, a trip that if you've never been to this part of the country, I was, again, like Texas, it's so different. I've never been to New Mexico. I'm curious what it's about. And completely different than anything I'd ever could have imagined. So this is a tour that's taken you for an adventure, for an event. So we do round trip airfare to Albuquerque, and you stay 2 nights Albuquerque, 3 nights Santa Fe in New Mexico. Lovely properties, we have DoubleTrees, Marriott's, Hilton's. That's our type of hotel. 7 meals included, fully guided. And then here's our properties that we use. And then you do a full tour of Albuquerque. So we get in the first day. We really don't have anything planned that first day. And then we have our welcome dinner, and then the next morning we get up, because this is why we're going. We go for what's called dawn patrol. So you can see it's dark out, so it's an early morning that first day, because we want you to see them light up these balloons and experience this so awesome. And they're all there, and we have like an area where we keep everybody together. We have like a private group area that we go to, and then you get to see them get ready to, light it up, and then they do the mass ascension. So quite awesome before they take off, and then boop, they start going, and then it's just amazing. This started in the 70s with a radio station in town doing like a anniversary party. They'll throw up a couple balloons and have a celebration and turn it into this. So balloons from all over the world, hundreds of balloons take off on the mass ascension. It's really, really neat. But this trip is not only about that. We do a full city tour of Albuquerque, the old town, the new town. Again, look at the architecture. You get into a completely different, very Native American, again, Spanish, Native American here. The old town has great shops and restaurants, and it is awesome. I think we found a little cafe and had some Mexican food and some margaritas, and bought some jewelry. I bought some beautiful turquoise jewelry here and enjoyed the old town and the churches, the adobe architecture as well. And then that night we go back for the balloon glow. So at night they bring the balloons back down, and then they glow them up at night. So just a lot of fun to kind of celebrate the closing of the day. Look at the balloon in the center. They have all different shapes and sizes. The balloons are just really, really neat. The next day, we're going to do the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center. So I think out of most of the places I've been, I think this and South Dakota, I'm not sure which has more, but you really feel the Native American culture here. You really feel this beautiful community and everything it has to offer, and you get to learn about how, they're indigenous in this area, and you'll learn about their life and their time from history, through time. These are our native people, right? This is our native culture here, and it's really, really beautiful. We're also going to take you to the Los Alamos Museum. So Oppenheimer, if you saw the movie or you're familiar with obviously the creation of the atomic bomb here in the secret town of Los Alamos, you go inside the museum. It's very hands-on, and you'll learn all about this. And if you haven't seen the movie, it really does kind of give you a history about it. We'll do Santa Fe, New Mexico. We'll arrive there, spend our last 3 nights there. While we're there, we're going to do our touring. So the High Road to Taos is your 56 scenic journey through, oh my gosh, mountains and villages and deserts and forests and all kinds. You see so much Indian villages, and then it's official scenic byway. You have an opportunity to see this sanctuary actually is was built in the mid-1800s, and soldiers on Easter Sunday come here as a pilgrimage. Still to this day, soldiers come here to give thanks for their deliverance home, right? For all the battles. They still do it to this day. So this is a beautiful tradition here of this lovely little chapel. We'll visit the town of Taos. We'll do a tour. You visit the old town. Taos, of course, is very, very historic. Back in the 1700s, the King of Spain gifted this land, and then they gave it to like 50 or 60 Native American families that have kept it, and it's passed through generations and still, so you'll feel the Native American community here very strong. And you'll learn the history of this area and the settlement big settlement for the Native American community here. And you'll get the tour and learn about it. And very Spanish as well. So you'll get that feel, very Catholic area. And this is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So it's registered as a historic place in the country. You'll see the ancient pueblos dating back as far as the 13th century. People lived in these native pueblos as well. Cemetery from the Mexican War. And then, of course, the Mission Church and all that as well that's there. And then a city tour of Santa Fe. Love the downtown area, again, really unique and beautiful there, and the plaza. And then we'll have time to do the inn at the Governor's Museum as well there. Loretto Chapel. There's actually a miracle that took place here having to do with St. Joseph. And when you get there, I don't want to give it away, but it has to do with the spiral staircase. And then the Palace of the Governors is like a museum, but then all your Native Americans selling their beautiful jewelry and artifacts and things. And then free time for art galleries and shopping, and we certainly always want to give you free time to enjoy the area as well. See the churches, Georgia O'Keeffe Museum, American painter and artist and collection of her goods, her arts, as well as a lot of others. And then there's other museums you can visit. We have our farewell dinner together before flying home the last day, and October 3rd to the 8th. So there's your pricing, single supplement, booking discount. Just a friendly reminder, if you make that final payment by check, we'll take $100 off the price of your trip. Lovely travel temperatures that time of year as well. And your deposit, again, $400, final payment 90 days, and then your insurance is $325. So, maybe you've never been to this area. It's certainly a unique experience and takes a little bit of everything, especially the hot air balloon event is pretty awesome. And last but not least, which I'm doing pretty good on time here, so I thought I'd be much longer, so this is good. Shelby Township Senior Center presents December 3rd of 2025, our Switzerland Christmas Markets River Cruise. So I'm going to tell you, river cruising is, if you've never seen it, this is a picture of the ship. It's a long flatboat. So instead of thousands of people on board, you have about 160 people on board, right? And you sail through the Rhine River, getting on and off the boat, visiting the towns to see all the Christmas markets. So this particular trip is with, we use Amadeus as our cruise line, and we charter the whole ship. So the cruise line can't take space away from us or has no control. We have complete control of the inventory, and it is just an awesome experience. I did the Christmas markets 2 Christmases ago. I've done these back in, years ago. I did the Switzerland Christmas markets. It's spectacular. It is literally like old world Christmas versus like American Christmas, right? It's so different. So you have a tour guide, you fly into Zurich, and then you transfer to Lucerne. This is my favorite city in the world, is Lucerne, Switzerland. I've got a special, special place in my heart for this town. We are there one hotel night on the arrival. It is surrounded by Mount Pilatus and Lake Lucerne. We do a full walking city tour of Lucerne, and the town is very old, dating back to like the 12th century. So this bridge alone is from the 12th century. It's called the Chapel Bridge. The buildings are lovely. The town, again, very, very peaceful, nestled into the mountains. And of course, they're all decorated for the Christmas market. They have a Christmas market. So we certainly want you to go back and, and enjoy the Christmas markets there in town. We're going to arrive in Strasbourg, France the next day, also with a Christmas market. I've been to this market. Every town has one. So you get off the ship. We do a tour, a full tour of Strasbourg. We get on board the ship for 6 nights. And this is the Amadeus Cara. Beautiful. And again, when you're boarding and disembarking and embarking on a ship like this, it's just 100 and something people. It's really easy to get on and off the ship. It was 162 people, launched in 2022. So again, pretty new. It's like a floating 5-star resort. This is the lobby of the ship. So this is what it looks like, reception hall. The lounges are lovely, very comfortable. You've got all your meals. Remember, it's on a cruise, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But what's nice about this one is you're sitting in this one room together, and it's all glass windows on both sides, and everyone sits and eats together. And it's special chefs, they're cooking for 160 people, so it's very fine dining. And then all you can drink beer and wine at dinner as well included, which is not like that in Alaska. You have to buy a drink package if you want your drinks included, but this is included. So here's the layout of the ship. The least expensive would be your Hayden deck, and then Strauss, then Mozart deck. There's only 3 decks. Rooms are all lovely. Room service is always available. This is our Mozart deck with a balcony and all that if you want a bigger space and a little more fancy. This is your Mozart and Strauss decks with a big picture window. Literally, it looks just like this. And then this is your Hayden deck, still with a window at the top to give you that beautiful natural lighting, private bathroom, walk-in closets, all kinds of space. We do the Strasbourg city tour, so you'll learn the history of Strasbourg, walking through town, as well as, what I think is interesting is this town, as you can see, has a lot of new mixed with old. So you have the new town and you have the old town. And Strasbourg, France, this is actually France, has this beautiful cathedral. Oh my gosh, this is the first, they believe, the first astronomical clock, which included the moon and all that as well. So it's inside this beautiful cathedral. But the town itself is known for their Christmas market. And these are in every town. It is mind-blowing, and they're all trying to outdo each other. So each city kind of does something special and different. But look at the decorations. And this is Strasbourg. This is what it looks like. Literally, the ship doesn't sail till the evening, so we go in there and spend time in the Christmas market. See, they take up the center of town, and you just walk around and get hot wine and pastries and gifts, and it's just neat. Even if you don't buy anything, it's just awesome. We have an optional tour to Alsace and Obernai. This is, I think, around $135 per person if you want to do this. If you don't, then you just stay in town and have free time to yourself. This is optional. Again, the town itself is like a little gingerbread town with interesting, things to see and do, and its own Christmas market as well. Or you're, again, free time in Strasbourg. We'll visit Speyer. We'll do a walking tour of Speyer, seeing their magnificent cathedral there and their Christmas markets too. So we do a walking tour, the old gate that used to be the entrance into town when it was kind of closed in right back in the day, hundreds of years ago. Here's their Christmas market again along the streets of town. All the shops are decorated. It is just, it's like nothing you could ever even dream of. It's literally like stepping back in time to like this old world Christmas and old Saint Nick walking around instead of Santa Claus, right? It's just a little bit different. Leisure time in Mannheim, Germany. If you do not, there's an optional trip to Heidelberg to see the Heidelberg town and castle. If you don't, you are in Mannheim to enjoy your time in Mannheim. Heidelberg Castle is rugged, historic, sit on the side of the mountains. You'll learn about the history of it as well. Cost of that is probably around the 150 price range per person. We'll take you into Rudesheim. You can see this beautiful castle ruin along the water here. Because in Europe, they don't believe in like tearing down another man's work. So these castles remain. Rudesheim is quaint and beautiful, and it's got the narrow brick streets. And this is what it looks like at Christmas time, all decorated. And the Drosselgasse is where you'll tour. And again, there is an optional tour, kind of like on Alaska a little bit. You don't have to take the options. There is, this one is only $65. There's a tram, like you take an aerial tram up over town, and then there's a musical instrument museum. So those of you who love historic musical instruments, that type of thing, this is available on this option. We'll do the Rhine River Gorge, sailing this day, where you want to be out on deck and listen to the captain talking about what you're seeing. And then we arrive in Koblenz, the German town where all the rivers kind of meet and come together. It is a very busy port, right, for trading. And then they also have their Christmas tour, or Christmas market. So we'll take the tour, the walking tour through town, and give you free time to explore the markets in Koblenz. People come from all over the world to see these markets. It's just, there's really no words to describe how absolutely beautiful. And whether you're, I don't know, there's history, there's holiday. It just is a great way to kick off your holidays for you in the evening in Koblenz. We cruise through the Moselle River. This is where the rivers get a little narrower. Again, why they have the smaller boats. And I threw this in there because we did have a little bit of snow. It's not very snowy, but we were so grateful we had a little bit of snow. It made it just really, really beautiful. So I threw this in there because I hope that you get a little bit at least. Kukum, Germany, walking tour, and again, more time. Notice the beautiful tower there and the old buildings. Reichsburg Castle is also included on this to see the overlooking town is this iconic structure on the mountain. We do some wine tasting, and then we give you free time at the Christmas markets in Kukum. And usually it's evening, because if you're spending the night at a port, you can go out on and off the ship and go in the evening and enjoy the Christmas markets. And then we have the beautiful town of Cologne. And you can see old and new in this town, see? New buildings and old historic buildings. This cathedral is probably one of the most magnificent structures on this planet. We'll take you through the old town. Lovely, lovely center of town. I guess you call it the Piazza, right, in Germany. The center of town here. We do our walking tour, but the Cologne Cathedral is magnificent. It's so big you can't even get it in a picture. I mean, it's just Gothic, almost like, just almost a little eerie and spooky. It's so beautiful. But wait until you see their Christmas market. This Christmas market has this wonderful entrance in, and it's nestled right at the foot of this cathedral. So it's just awesome. So the Christmas markets, look at that. I mean, even if you think, oh, do you get over too many Christmas markets? It's not. Every one of them is different. Everyone has something special to offer. Look at that. I love that this is kind of at the end, because I think this is just, to me, the most beautiful, beautiful, iconic picture. And then you disembark, and you transfer to the Frankfurt airport and fly back. So again, a trip filled with just history and scenery, and it just kind of kicks off your holidays. Passports are required. Money is the euro. Pricing is on the flyer. There are a $200 discount if you make your final payment by check. One thing I do like to point out is if you cancel, regardless of insurance or not, there is a $200 non-refundable cancellation fee from the river cruise. So that's on the flyer, and I'll show you where that is. Temperatures. This is exactly what the temperatures were when we were there. The day we got snow, it must have dropped to 32. Obviously, it's a little chilly that day. I dressed accordingly, right? And it was lovely. It was really, they don't get winter like we do. They don't get below zero in that cold, so you're not there freezing. You're there in cool, nice winter temperatures that are just comfortable. Deposit $600, insurance $499, final payment due 90 days prior to departure. So again, charming way to experience a holiday tour with the European Christmas markets, and certainly a way to see them with getting on and off the boat, right? Versus trying to drive through Europe to see them all. So let's go through our final things here. Just a few more slides left. This one, so everything that I'm talking about is on the back of the flyer. So this information's clear and stated, but everything is fully refundable up until 180 days, which is about 6 months. So if you're planning a trip, put that 180-day mark on your calendar, because everything, insurance, deposit, 100% refundable 6 months prior, 180 days. Inside 180 days, if you buy the insurance, if you purchase our insurance, and this of course is excluding Alaska because it's a little different, but our insurance, you would get back, before the final payment, you would get 100% of your money back, or your deposit back, and then your insurance cost becomes a future travel credit. So you don't lose anything. You get your deposit back, and then a future travel credit on the insurance. If you don't buy the insurance, your deposit still comes back to you in the form of a future travel credit, so you don't lose anything. Once you get to that final payment, then the insurance kicks in, which I'll talk about. Future travel credits are valid for 1 year from the date of the trip, not the date you cancel. So they, gives you a little extra time, okay? So let's talk about our insurance. So again, fully refundable outside of 180 days, up until final payment, refund your deposit, and then insurance is a future travel credit. Then once you get past that final payment, if you have the insurance, if you have a medical emergency, even up to the morning of the trip, you have to cancel. As long as you give us your documentation from a doctor, you get 100% of your money back of the trip itself. The insurance is non-refundable, but you get all that back. And then if you have to cancel for any reason that's not a medical reason, I think you can cancel up to 48 hours prior and writing, and you would get 75% of your cancellation fees back at a future travel credit. So we'll give you something back, even at the very end, if you didn't buy the insurance. And then on the back of the flyer, there's a box down on the right column that says cancellation fees. Those are all the fees. And then once you go on the trip, you have trip interruption, baggage delay, accident medical coverage, all that too, and the amounts are on the back of the flyer. So it's for good peace of mind. So how do I sign up? Forms on the flyer. All the details are on the very back. Who to send it to, all that information. Here's your cancellation fees down there, deposit, and all that as well. And then I pasted this from the back of the flyer. This is on the back of every flyer. You can mail it in. It comes directly to us, not to the senior center here. So you can mail it to our office. You can scan it and email it over. You can fax it. You can call our toll-free number and book your trip over the phone. Or you can go online and use our reservation system. If you call or you go online, make sure to have the flyer handy, because you're going to need information from the flyer. Your web code's found in the back of the flyer in the top left corner, and checks are payable to Premier World Discovery. Okay? Hour and 10, 12 minutes, not too bad. So thank you for joining. Does anyone have any questions at all about anything? Yeah. Yes.
Like if something happened to me and we're both going.
Oh, yeah.
Both get everything?
Yes, good question. So thank you. So I should have said that. So if one roommate or a spouse has an emergency medical at the at the very end, the roommate can choose to still go on the trip. Say it's 2 traveling people and another one still wants to go, then or a spouse and says, I'm going to go without you. Just kidding. You can pay the single supplement and still go, or you can both cancel and you both get the same refund. It's that way. So it's totally at your choice either way. So yes.
Multi-coast.
Yes.
Is it going to be happening in 25?
Yes, that trip will be happening in 25. It's a little bit different. The itinerary is tweaked a little different. And if you wanted to book a trip that's not listed here with our company, you can. What you want to do is call the office, make sure they know you're with Shelby Township Senior Center so you get the booking, like the group price. And you can book other trips that we offer. The only thing not included is your airport transportation from here to the airport. Everything else is the same. And like if you had 2 people that wanted to do even like Africa, or because I know you're going to Africa, like different places like that. We have all kinds of Hawaii, there's all kinds of things we do. You can still go on your own. You just are on your own to get yourself to and from the airport. And then the tour itself is,
These are the only ones.
Yeah, those are the ones she's offering for 25. But other trips are available. You're just on your own to get to the airport. Okay? Yes?
What airlines do you use?
It really depends where we're going. So I have a mix of, Deltas are probably primary, and then American and United, depending on where you're going. Because as you know, some airlines are stronger in other cities than others. So it really does depend on that. Our goal is to try to do the best schedule, and if possible, no connections if we can. Not all cities have that, but.
And how about an upgrade in the airlines?
If you want to upgrade your seat, you can do that. You have 2 choices. You can book your own air. You can do what's called land only, which means you can purchase the land trip. We remove the airfare and all that. You can purchase that on your own. Then you're on your own to get to and from the airport as well. And then you can book your own flights. Or you can wait until we get your flights about 45 days prior, and then you can then get your reservation number and your ticket number, and then you can contact the airline and upgrade your seats on your own. We can't do it anymore. We've been taken, that power is taken away.
Do you still get the transfers to the airport?
If we do your air, yes, transportation to and from, yeah, and then you can upgrade your seats afterwards. As the past 5 years, the airlines have taken away all our power. So we can't even assign seating anymore. We can't do any upgrades, nothing. Internationally we can, but domestically we can't. Internationally we can request business class upgrades and things. We give you that price, and then we can let you know what that is, and then you can pay extra if you choose to, because it's expensive, but worth it. Yes?
I've got a question for you.
Sure.
For the international flights, if I wanted to do the markets, now, do you have a direct flight from Detroit that goes to the center?
Non-stop, you mean? Non-stop?
Yes.
Because direct does not mean non-stop, just so you all know. I mean, that's something, not even in my company, I have to tell people, be careful, because direct means, doesn't mean non-stop. But yes, it depends where you're going. So Frankfurt, there is a non-stop flight to Frankfurt from Detroit, and Zurich, but I can't guarantee that it would be non-stop.
Okay,
I don't.
So what would you book as far as, like, if I wanted to do that particular trip, as far as the flights?
I don't know.
You have no clue right now?
Not at this point, I wouldn't know. No. It would be a major air carrier, I do know that. But again, those flight information is not available till about 45 days prior. We have things locked in, but changes happen with the airlines so much that we don't give it out too early. Or again, you can book your own air. That's another option if you wanted to do your own air. People can do that. I know it's easier to have someone else do it. I know. No, I have to say, Detroit, I've been really pleased with the Detroit flight schedules. There are some places that are not nonstop. Obviously, a lot of places we go, there's just no nonstops available. But if there are, we do certainly want to grab those if we can.
So right now, I wouldn't have no idea where I'm flying into in order
That's on the flyer where you're in and out of. It does say it on all the flyers. It'll say what city you're flying into and what city you're flying home from. So depending on the trip.
Yeah, the end point. But
Yeah.
as far as like the catch flights.
Oh yeah, I don't know what those. I don't know
no
what.
idea if I have to go to Chicago and pick up international, or it goes into
Right.
one of the other European.
Right. It could go Detroit, New York, Detroit, Chicago, Detroit, depending on where we're going.
A lot.
Yeah, Chicago's got a ton of nonstops to everywhere. Yeah, and it's really hard to tell. Detroit does have, if there are nonstops, we try to get those. That's like, obviously, we want to get you there, just, as we can. So, what I don't know that this far in advance, so.
Okay, so with that in mind, if there are like delays or cancellations, again, because no control.
Right.
What do you do as far as transfers once I get to the main?
We take care of you when you get
So
there.
if I'm,
If
like,
you're
5
delayed,
hours or
if you're
8
delayed,
hours?
other people are probably delayed too. So the tour director's panicking, like trying to get everybody to the ship. That's why we like that first day, we have a cushion day. Usually we don't like to take off that first day. We have like a cushion day before our cruises. That's why. If there's delays and things, we don't want to be getting on a ship at 5 p.m. and having to go. We want to have a cushion day so that if people are delayed getting in, that's what that's for. So yeah.
Okay, another question. If I have a family member that's in Europe,
Mm-hmm.
lives there, and I want for them to join me on like the market.
Sure.
So I would book just a
Land only.
for her, and then
Yeah.
she would have to get her own flight back and forth.
Sure. Yeah, and meet
So
you
that
right
would
at the
be
ship.
okay?
Yeah. They could, if they buy the package, they just meet you at the hotel or at the airport that first day, and then you do the whole thing together, and then they, plan their trip back on their own. So, yeah, it's a great idea.
So, again, with the markets, do you have the guide that goes directly to the markets with you, or is that kind of
Yeah.
self?
No, it's the tour, the guide's with you. Oh, that's another thing I should mention. You wear kind of like a box like this around your neck. It's a little box with earbuds. So when you take the tours, the guide can be 2 blocks away and you can hear everything because they're in your head, right? It's really cool. And the whisper system is done, and then every night in your room you charge it and you wear it the next day, and everybody takes them. And then once the tour is over, the guide will be like, okay, we're in the Christmas markets. Everybody will be here for, meet you back at the ship, walk back, or meet me back here at a certain time, and you get free time in the markets and things like that. And usually it's walking distance back to the ship. So it's really nice. The tour is great because you can hear everything. So, yeah, sure. Well, yes.
You had a brochure earlier in the week for the Grand Canyon. Is it gone?
That trip is sold out.
Sold out?
Yeah, I saw the flyers up there, and it's in October. Yeah, that one is sold out. That's another trip we offer every year. So that's a trip if there's enough interest. If you let Christy know, we could bring that trip back and put it on the books again next year. It's our #1 selling trip, so it's always, people always want to go. It's really great. So.
This one?
Yeah, same. Talk to Christy about that one too. So I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to hang out here. So if you have any specific questions for me or want to chat with me more, I am here. I know it's getting warm in here. I want you to get outside and enjoy this beautiful day. But thank you so much for coming. Please spread the word, right? The best way to get these trips to grow is that all your friends know about it. You can travel together and enjoy. So thank you all so much. Have a good summer, rest of your summer. Thanks. Thank you.